这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的听力水平在生活中是完全够用的。要持续提升英文，记得点击订阅按钮。我们开始吧。
If you have ever felt the air tighten because someone stood right in front of you and would not move, this story already knows your name. Toe-to-toe is not a clean phrase. It does not smell like paper or ink. It smells like sweat, wet earth, and old leather. Long before it was spoken in offices or written in books, it lived in places where men settled things with their bodies. Open yards behind taverns. Docksides where ships creaked all night. Empty lots where the ground was packed hard by boots. In those places, space was a kind of power. If you had room, you could move. If you lost it, you had to stand. Fighters learned this fast. There were no ropes, no soft mats, no bright lights. Just a rough circle of people and a rougher patch of ground. When two men stepped forward until their toes met, it meant something very clear. This ends here. Toe-to-toe was not about anger. It was about decision. The moment when you stopped testing and started committing. Chest square. Feet planted. Eyes fixed so hard they almost hurt. When toes touched, you could feel the other man's balance through the ground. You could feel if he was steady or if he was lying to himself. An old dock worker once explained it to a boy watching his first fight. He said when men stand toe-to-toe, they are telling the truth without words. You cannot fake your weight. You cannot fake your breath. You are there, or you are not. One winter evening, a crowd gathered near the river. The wind cut through coats and made hands ache. Two fighters stepped into the open space. One was older, thick through the shoulders, known for standing his ground. The other was younger, fast, known for moving like smoke. People whispered about which style would win. At first, the younger man circled. He stepped in, tapped, and slipped away. The older man followed slowly, always forward, always closing space. Each time the younger man backed up, the circle tightened. Boots shifted. Elbows touched. Someone dropped a bottle, and it broke underfoot. Then it happened. The younger man stepped back and felt nothing behind his heel. No space left. He stopped moving. The older man stepped in one more time. Their toes met. The noise faded. Even the river seemed to pause. For a breath, they just stood there. The younger man swallowed. The older man exhaled through his nose. When the punches came, they were short and heavy. No wide swings. No tricks. Just force traded for force. When it ended, both men were bleeding, but only one was still upright. After that night, people started using toe-to-toe to talk about more than fights. Sailors used it when storms pushed ships toward rocks. If you could not turn, you went toe-to-toe with the waves. Farmers used it when animals broke loose. Parents used it when children stopped listening. The phrase carried a feeling of closeness, not distance, not safety. Closeness that made your hands tense and your jaw lock. Toe-to-toe meant you could see the lines on the other person's face. You could hear their breath change. During early military drills, officers made soldiers stand so close their boots touched. It was uncomfortable by design. Men shifted and complained at first. Then they learned to stay still, to breathe without space, to hold their ground while someone else leaned in. Officers knew fear often comes from feeling crowded. If you could stand toe-to-toe without breaking, you could follow orders under fire. There was a recruit named Thomas who struggled with this. He was tall and strong but nervous. Whenever another man stood too close, he leaned back. The sergeant noticed. One morning, he placed Thomas face to face with another recruit. Boots touching. No talking allowed. Minutes passed. Sweat rolled down Thomas's spine. His legs shook. He wanted to step away. The sergeant did not shout. He just said stay. So Thomas stayed. Something changed after that day. He did not become fearless, but he stopped running from pressure. Later, in places far louder and more dangerous than the drill yard, that lesson came back to him. Stand. Breathe. Stay. As years passed, toe-to-toe moved into quieter rooms. A shop owner refusing to give up his land. A worker finally speaking to a boss who crossed a line. Two friends standing in a kitchen, voices low, saying things they had avoided for years. No fists. No blood. Still toe-to-toe. These moments often begin small. A look held too long. A sentence that does not end. Silence stretching until it presses on your ears. Your body reacts before your mind does. Heart faster. Hands damp. A voice inside suggesting an easy exit. Change the subject. Walk away. Let it go. But toe-to-toe moments do not let you drift past them. They ask something clear. Are you staying? Or are you stepping back? History is full of quiet toe-to-toe moments that never made headlines. People choosing not to lie. Choosing not to bend. Choosing to stand in place even when their knees shook. Those choices shaped families, towns, and lives in ways that never showed up in records. The power of toe-to-toe is not in winning. Many who stood their ground lost something. Money. comfort, approval. Sometimes they lost friends. What they kept was harder to name. A sense that they did not disappear when it mattered. Think about your own life. There are places where you learn to step back early, to smooth things over, to stay safe. That skill has value. But there are moments when stepping back costs more than it saves. You know those moments. They arrive quietly. A conversation you delay. A boundary you do not set. A truth you swallow because it feels heavy. Each time, life inches closer until there is no space left behind your heel. When that happens, remember where toe-to-toe came from. From rough ground and honest weight. From people who learn that running is not always an option. Remember that standing does not promise comfort. It promises clarity. Toe-to-toe means you are present. Fully there. Not halfway out the door. Not hiding behind words. Just you, planted, breathing, facing what is in front of you. And when you walk away later, win or lose, you will know one thing for sure. You did not vanish. You stood toe-to-toe with your moment. That knowledge stays with you longer than fear ever does.
能以非母语者的身份专注学习到现在，这本身就是很棒的进步。真诚感谢你的观看。如果你觉得本期内容实用，点赞或留言让我知道你的想法，这对我持续创作非常重要。我们下期见。